This is one of the most expensive training aids I have ever bought. Coming in at just under £500, this is the TempoStik by Visio. What we're going to do in this video, I'm going to do a bit of a product review, which is something that I don't do very often, but let's crack on. I'm going to address one thing first of all. It's the 30th of November today, and I'm rocking the last day Movember. Bit of a pervert moustache. So if I look like a bit of a pervert, more than normal, it's for a good cause, right? Let's get started. If you think about it this way, in putting, you need to have one constant. Either you need to keep a constant backswing length, so that would need to stay the same all the time, and then depending on how far your putt is, you would adjust accordingly. So I always take my putter back this far, and then if I've got a 3-foot putt, I just slow down to almost a stop, and I judge it through there. Similarly, if I've got a really fucking long putt, I go back to my normal length and then I rattle it as hard as I can. So the constant in that situation would be your backswing length. Now, pretty much nobody does that because it's a bit fucking mental. What this trains you to do is to keep the constant of the power that you apply, so the rhythm, the power, how much energy you exert on the downswing, that stays constant. But what this teaches you to do is how to maintain that constant with different length putting strokes, if that makes sense. So your putting stroke for a 6-footer is less than it would be for a 10-footer, is less than it would be for a 25-footer. So what this device is designed to do is to give you a visual and a sound reference for what that constant rhythm would be. So to use it, you set the stick just beyond the ball and you program in a predetermined rhythm, putt length and green speed into the app that's connected to the device. So from there, you choose whether you would like the device to show you visual only, which would be the LED lights would go back and forth, but you wouldn't have an audio cue. Or you can select audio and visual cues. You make strokes and you match the length of the strokes to the LEDs and you marry up the impact of the ball with the middle beep on the audio sound. So I'm really leaning into the moustache thing because I'm wearing a Fire Department New York top, drinking from a Fire Department New York mug. Do I look like a fireman? Comment down below. Well, it comes with this nifty little travel case. I don't know if it's leather or faux leather, but it's pretty funky. So in here, when you open it up, you also get this little Visio rechargeable battery pack. Comes with a small micro USB cable, so you can charge this pack up, and then also this acts as your power source for the device itself. So that's what it comes with. Features this little case, charging pack, and the device itself. What are the pros of this device? So I would say it is a game changer in terms of being able to teach rhythm and tempo. It's pretty much unparalleled in the sense that there's nothing like this out there. Once you've used it for a few reps, you really do get a sense of where your rhythm and tempo fits in. I don't know the statistic, but I would say pretty much every 3-putt that you've ever had, that I've ever had, has been caused by inconsistent speed control. And even if you're going to be out there doing speed drills with an inconsistent tempo, an inconsistent speed of your stroke, you are going to struggle to improve your speed control. So it is a fundamental of putting, of speed control, is having a consistent tempo, a consistent energy output into the ball. This helps that, unlike anything I've ever seen. I don't think that there's anything else in the market that does this. The device really gets to the heart of the problem. It's portable. You can take it with you anywhere. You can take it with you to the course. You can use it in the house, charge it up, and you're good to go anywhere. In that sense, it's obviously pretty fucking cool. So I'd say those are some of the pros of this. It's really, really good in the sense of what it actually does, what it teaches you, how it helps your rhythm. To be fair, we're not going to beat around the bush. £495 is an insane amount of money to spend on a golf club, let alone a training aid. It's a lot of money to spend on something like this. So it can be a little bit tricky to figure out how to connect the app to the device. For me, it was a little bit temperamental to start with. I did have to download and then re-download a bunch of versions of the app. I even needed to troubleshoot with the company themselves to work on a fix on how to get it to work. So that's obviously not ideal if you're spending half a grand on a device. You kind of want it to work right away. So I will say this though, I did get early access to this device before it was made commercially available because I'm a world famous YouTube star. Yep, that's not true. I got early access to this because I've had a couple of lessons with Phil Kenyon, who owns Visio, and I reached out to him on WhatsApp and just asked when it was going to be made available about 6 or 7 months ago. And he just WhatsApped me back a link where I could go and buy it early. So I did that. So that being said, I would imagine the issues I experienced with getting the app to connect were because of that. If you were to buy it now, I would anticipate that the app works really without any hitches. But obviously I can't say for certain. Another con I would say is it kind of feels a little bit I don't want to say flimsy, I would say delicate. Like a big massive fear of mine is that I step on this and it just cracks, and I feel like that would be it totally fucked. So it's pretty precious.
Hobbitses, my precious.
Oh, it's really hard being me. Okay. Mention the pros, mention the cons. What I'm going to say next is probably a deal breaker for most people, if the price hasn't already been the deal breaker. At the moment, as it stands, the app that connects to this device is only available for Android devices. It's not actually available for Apple. I would imagine the app is going to be developed and put on the App Store for, I think that's what you guys call it. I use a Google phone, so am I right? iOS App Store, whatever the fuck it's called. So I would imagine that they're probably, they're going to be missing out on a huge market if that's not the case, if they're not developing that. So I would anticipate that they are. But as it stands, as of today, as of the 30th of November, last day of Movember, boop, boop, it's not available on Apple. Who is this device aimed at then? Well, I would say me, like literally me, someone with the disposable income who is absolutely keen as fuck on golf and will try anything to try and improve. There are a shitload of us out there that we just think £500 to never three-putt again, bargain. But in reality, 99% of club golfers, whilst they would benefit from using this, they wouldn't be able to justify spending the money when downloading a free metronome app on their phone would possibly do the trick. So I'll be honest, even I've stopped using it as much as I used to once the novelty is kind of worn off. Most people are not going to know the stimp of their greens anyway, so that feature could be quite tricky to dial in for them, as well as working out, well, what their actual tempo, a good tempo for them would be. What I mean by that is, like, if you're someone who drives your car really fast, gets everything done fast, runs about, you're a fucking boom, 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 and then you try and set yourself a really long, slow tempo, it just doesn't match your personality style. It doesn't match who you are. And funnily enough, it's something I've struggled with, is that I've been trying to replicate really long, slow putting strokes when I'm just a guy that's like fucking To sum up, in my balanced opinion, I would say, does it help? Yes, it absolutely does help. But only if you are a golfer who is very serious about their game and they're willing to put in the time to improve. For most people, the price is just going to be too expensive for them to justify the benefits that they're going to get out of this, I would say. I mean, who knows? Like, the reason I always am a bit weird about doing reviews is because why would you give a fuck about my opinion? It's just my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one and they all stink. If you have any questions or comments on the TempoStik, please drop a note below. The benefit of me being a really tiny YouTube channel is I can literally respond to everyone. Plus, my girlfriend's away with work at the moment and it's just me and the dog in the house, and I'd appreciate having someone to talk to. Yeah, thanks for watching as always. Peace out, I'll see you next week and all that fun stuff. Au revoir, mon chéri.